high-tech oils, available from Auto One, Sprint Auto Parts, and all leading independent auto stores.
How do you explain the cars that make up the Kerridge Sports Sedan Series grid? Well, take a space frame chassis, throw in some 800 horsepower V8s or the occasional rotary, add some massive wings and fat tyres and you get the idea. These things are wild, Australia's fastest tin tops. The only way to go quicker is to jump in a Wings and Slicks open wheeler. But there's nothing that can replicate the brutal thunder and adrenaline of a field of sports sedans launching towards the opening corner. Throw in great drivers like 8-time champ Tony Ricciardello and his long-time rival Darren Hossack, 6-time champ Kerry Bailey and rapid young gun Tom Randall, and the competition is better than ever. Feel the thunder, feel the noise. Get ready, folks, it's sports sedan time.
Welcome back to Sandown Raceway as we continue our coverage of the opening round of the Shannon's Nationals for 2015. The big bangers are on track now. The Kerridge Sports Sedans, their first round of the championship. Some new cars and some cool names in the category, Kralsey.
Yep, there's a new power rising in the category too. He's got 800 horsepower under his right foot. He's the reigning Australian Formula Ford Series winner. His name is Tom Randall.
Well, I started go-karts when I was 7, raced up until I was about 16 in karting, and then I progressed to the Formula Ford Series. Last year I did the full series that was with the Shannon's Nationals, and I was able to win that championship. And then at the start of this year I raced in the New Zealand's Toyota Racing Series, and which was a great experience for what it was going to come to for the rest of the year. And after that, Dad and I decided to, attempt the full series of the sports sedans. Oh, it's just a great series. I mean, you got guys who have won, Tony's won 8 championships, Darren's won 2 championships, and the cars are just awesome. I mean, they're Australia's fastest tin tops, and I mean, you know, Dad had the car. It's his car, he's built it, it's won a championship previously, and he's also won a championship in the car, so I mean, you know, it'd be just great to sort of uphold what he's got against me at the moment. Back when, in 2006, you know, I was, not even 10 years old yet, and I was watching my dad race against the same guys. So I mean, to be able to race against the guys that I always watched go around and never thought I'd actually race against them is pretty special.
The Kerridge Sports Sedan Series are on track. We're going to have a look at Race 2 highlights. And Matt Nolte, just for something different, we're going to play the counting game. Watch Darren Hossack and see how many cars he passes before turn 2. That's 1, 2, 3.
Comes 4.
Yep.
I reckon we'll stay with 4 here. No, let's try 5. Let's take Dean Cam to make it 5 before one corner.
Yeah, that's not all. He's had a wretched weekend so far. It's been a real challenge. And Darren Hossack was a man on a mission carving his way through in the Audi A4, the John Goulet Audi Spares entry. Bruce Henley got past Mick Benton in that hastily repaired Castrol Mark Ford Focus. Meanwhile, Tony Ricciardello way out in front.
Yeah, he was gone. This is the dude heading down the inside of Dean Cam. Great to have the dude in the series in the Mark Australia's entry.
Brown Banks Smith, it sounds like a law firm, but there's some pretty handy sports sedan racers dicing it out for positions inside the top 10. The former champion, Bruce Banks, a couple of seasons ago in that bright blue Mazda RX-7. There's Colt Smith in his great Mustang. Meanwhile, Tony Ricciardello recorded a comfortable 8-second victory with Hossack home in second place in race 2. Stephen Tomasi third, and Kerry Bailey, great to have the 6-time champion, that amazing Aston Martin back. I love these cars, Matt Nolte. I make no bones about it. These are some of the favourite racing cars you'll see, and we're looking forward to the final race of the weekend. The 2 great rivals on the front row. Behind them, the young gun Thomas Randall in that brand new 800 horsepower engined Saab, and Kerry Bailey, the 6-time champ, going from P4.
And it's fitting these 2 guys should start on the front row once again. Ricciardello and Hossack, Tomasi and Bailey on the next row. Randall and Morris, Cam and Brown off the fourth row. Back to Smith and Banks, Henley and Benton, and Peter McLeod in the Slick 50 sponsor car. Looking forward to seeing that during this race in the lucky 13th position.
They've had some dramas too. I should mention Stephen Tomasi. He's had a very good, consistent weekend in the Calibra. We're ready for a start. Final race. Feel the thunder at the Kerrick Sports Sedans. You can see the wheel spin on a rolling start, and Randall down the inside in the green and black Saab. It's Ricciardello who leads them down into turn one. But Hossack not giving any room and fighting for that race lead, and the rivalry continues.
I just hope Hossack can have a clean race. He's been running strong all weekend, then the bad luck pill arrives. You watch Thomas Randall, defending Australian Formula Ford champion, down the inside of Stephen Tomasi, who'll line him up. He's got Paul Morris behind him also.
Yeah, and his dad Dean's Saab. They've got a brand new Richard Childress Racing engine under the hood of, or the removable bodywork, I should say, of that amazing Saab. That's the car that won the championship with James Sarah a few years ago. What a noise,
awesome,
isn't it, Prudence? Ricciardello, Hossack battle on behind them for third place. Kerry Bailey and the Aston Martin and the Camaro off the road, across the grass and the run down into Dandenong Road.
Yep, the appliance white colours had a few donut rings on it this weekend as we're on board with the six-time champ, being passed down the bottom by Thomas Randall as well on the outside.
Yeah, so Tomasi went one side, Randall the other. That was good stuff.
No respect for a six-time champ.
No, not wrong. Great to have Kerry back in the series as well after sitting out last year. So Andrew Brown it was in the Camaro, who's a newcomer to the series this year. Great to have him on board. Cool-looking car. Love the Camaro body shape. I love all the body shapes in this category, let's be honest. They're amazing things. They're such a core part of the Shannon's Australian Motor Racing Nationals. We welcome back Kerrick for another great season of sponsorship. Kerrick Industrial Equipment have been amazing supporters of this series. Lead us through. Look at the back of this queue. That's Paul Morris. Yes, Paul Morris, defending Bathurst champion. Chaz Mostert, he's running the Mark Cars Australia Focus. One of the cars built and engineered by Ryan McLeod's firm up there on the Gold Coast for endurance racing. Well, they wanted a domestic racing product as well, so they've got a sprint version of that car. Now, this car this weekend, and the one driven by Nick Benson, still running in enduro mode. But we'll take another look at this fairly exciting moment. But they've got some upgrades coming to those cars to make them more suitable for short, sharp sprint races. But they've been competitive this weekend, and the dude is doing a good job.
I think the dude suits this category. He's a welcome addition here as we work lap 4. These two are running a clinic right now. Look at the gap. It's light years back to third and fourth between Tomasi and Thomas Randall, who works his way down to the turn 3 and 4 section of this racetrack.
I tell you what, talk about, I'm not sure if it's sublime to the ridiculous or just one edge of ridiculous to another. McLeod off with a fire in the Slick 50 RX-7.
I was looking forward to seeing this car, but not like this. The Slick 50 sponsored car, in fact, he's jumped out the car to see where the fire's coming. The safety car will be called out here. That's not the safety car, that's a fire car.
That's one of the emergency vehicles, and they're coming across the top at warp speed. And, that was a hairy moment.
Oh, man.
So you could just see in the back of the shot, McLeod pulling to the side. He knew there was something wrong and got out in quick fashion. His son, Jared, V8 Ute Racer, helping engineer the car. The fire team are there. And there's a lot of smoke coming out, as you can see, from the Slick 50 car. A replica of the Group C car that he raced back in Australian Touring Car Championship competition. Safety car about to pull in, though. Wild moments in the Kerrick Sports Sedans. It's not over yet. And this just gives some breathing room for Hossack. And he's closed up behind Ricciardello. Had issues in race 1, Darren Hossack. Too long under safety car. The car caught on fire because it was going too slowly. So there's a message for Sports Sedan fans. You need to be going quickly.
Yep, don't slow down. Here's Morris coming down to 1. So this has compressed the field from first back to 4th. Tomasi in 3rd. Randall is 4th at the moment.
Really interesting chat with Ricciardello, the 8-time, yes, 8 national championships now, to his credit, on Thursday before this race meeting, and hasn't had any seat time in the car before this round, and they're doing this round with a pretty short-staffed crew. But they've made some more changes to that car. It's been improved and developed over the off-season. They never stop improving that car. It's more than 20 years old, but it really is a bit like grandfather's axe. Like, they changed the handle and the axe head, and then the handle and the axe head, and it's still the same axe, although it's completely different. It's an amazing car, that Alfa Romeo, though. It's one of the most iconic racing cars in Australian motorsport.
Gee, we grew up watching that, didn't we? The days of Mallala and even at the Grand Prix in Adelaide, and still kicking goals here in 2015. The end of lap 5, so half race distance.
As this thing's trying to put their power to the ground, you see Randall with a big slide out of the final corner, back through Dean Camp, Victorian champion. There's Bruce Banks in that rotary-powered RX-7. We saw earlier Bruce Henley in the ex-Grand Am, the Rolex Series cars that were campaigned by the Speed Source team, and Dempsey Racing, he of Grey's Anatomy fame, brought into Australia at the start of last season.
Certainly one of Kralsey's favourite shows midweek.
Don't miss it. Oh, well, slow. Ricciardello slows, and Hossack blows past him in a straight line.
A rare issue for the Alpha, and now Hossack gets the lead. All of a sudden, there he's back. Missed gear, perhaps.
Wow, that was strange. Well, disappointing for Tony Ricciardello. Great news, because for the first time, Darren Hossack gets a clear racetrack in front of him. Here's a look.
Surely it's a gear.
And just destroyed him, didn't he? But by the time they got to the top of the hill, here we go, this will show it. Oh, just, yeah, misslotted.
That's all you need, and Hossack blazes on by, and can he hold on to this? Lap 10, and it spices it up for you at home watching this today.
Now, Tony Ricciardello will not like that, and he will apply the pressure. If he can get back in front, he will make every effort to do so. And Hossack now leads his great rival. 2 champions in front, 8 of them behind. There's 6 a little bit further down the field in Kerry Bailey. There's Tomasi and Randall still in the mix too. But the fastest cars with roofs in Australia are putting on a show at Sandown.
We run up the top, on board with Hossack. He gets to the top here. To the left-hand side. Sweeps it through. Seesaws at the wheel. Tries to straighten this up. That's 3 or 4 bites of the cherry.
He's been racing a wingless sprint car of late, Darren Hossack, to keep himself amused over the off-season, and it was like he was driving that. There was more opposite lock than turning in the direction of the corner there. But driving this car hard, they had a really successful test at Winton before the round and felt like they'd gained a bit of ground. You just can't split these two. It's been a rivalry that goes on. They hate the fact that we talk it up, but we don't actually have to do much because they just find themselves on the racetrack every time they go motor racing. 2 to go.
Certainly have been. We always missed the apex of the corner. Now Ricciardello has a chance here. He'll put the Alpha down the inside. Brake lock up. Big brake lock up now for Hossack.
Ricciardello down the inside at 4. I think Hoss has got problems, does he?
Has he damaged the tyre? That's a big brake lock up, Kralsey.
Yeah, he has. He gets out of the way. He's slowing down. Unbelievable drama. And for a while there, it looked like neither of these two wanted to win the race. Ricciardello slows, hands the lead to Hossack, and then Hossack with a right front tyre delaminating on the Audi.
And Randall also got past. Tomasi is up to second now. What an unbelievably bad run it's been for Darren Hossack. The 2-time champ is pulling up the Audi, and his race is done.
Well, that'll be devastating, because even if he didn't win that race, he would have been slightly more satisfied with second after the weekend they've had, just to get some points on the board. When they start the final lap, that leaves the Alpha and Tony Ricciardello out in front. Tom Randall up to P2. Good start to his championship campaign. And what about Stephen Tomasi? What a very fast, very consistent weekend for the Calibra driver.
Solid run all weekend. Finished in P2 in the second race, I should say. This guy won on debut in the first race earlier this weekend as Darren Hossack walks away.
That's the look of a frustrated man right there, isn't it? Man who runs a karting team, DPE, full-time during the week, and goes to a lot of the karting shows and races. As team manager, such a great long relationship with John Goulet and his team. But what about this guy? What about the man who won the championship last year? He's picked up where he left off. And this irrepressible Alpha with Chev power and the 8-time champion behind the wheel is going to do the job in the first round of 2015.
Great start, and it's going to continue on, the domination of this Alpha. Tony Ricciardello wins here at Sandown in the first round of the Kerrick Sports Sedan Series for 2015.
Randall got pretty close on the final lap. So bodes well for the future. Here's a final lap scuffle. Bruce Banks just going down the inside of Brown in the white Camaro. Oh, this will be really close, actually.
Yeah?
I think V8 carrying the Camaro will get the job done. Oh, it'll be close, yes. Very close at the line.
A tenth of a second, if you like.
Great stuff there. Paul Morris, P5, great debut for the Mark Cars Australia Focus in the Kerrick Sports Sedan Series. Cam Brown and Banks rounding out the 8. Cole Smith and Bruce Henley, the 10. Benton finishes 11th. McLeod and Hossack we saw failing to finish. But the winner in round 1 is Tony Ricciardello. This was the moment, perhaps, that changed the game today for Darren Hossack and that Audi A4. Was that what popped the tyre? I seem to think so. And that may be what handed the opening round of the Kerrick Sports Sedan Series to Tony Ricciardello.
Now it's a big brake lock-up he had down there at turn 3. By the time he got up to here, you could see the side of the car had dropped down, and his race was done from this point.
Pulled to the side of the road. Ricciardello the winner.
Really good weekend. Yeah, we're probably a little bit behind the 8 ball at the start of the weekend. Our preparation was as good as normal, just a little bit out of time, and no, it was really good. The car was strong, and a few little changes we've made, I think, are definitely positive, and looking forward to the year.
A great start to Tony Ricciardello's defence of his championship. He's 14 points clear of Stephen Tomasi, Thomas Randall. Kerry Bailey is next. Paul Morris, Dean Cam, Andrew Brown and Bruce Banks. Tough break, as we kept talking about, for Darren Hossack. I'm sure he'll bounce back at the next round, Kralsey.
Matt Nolte, thank you very much, and to our entire team, thanks for watching. That's the opening round of the Shannon's Australia Motor Racing Nationals. For more info on the series, head to thenationals.com.au. We next race at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit on May 23 and 24. Check it out. It's going to be an amazing round. On behalf of the team, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time we go racing with the Shannon's Nationals.
Oh!
50,000 Hardeman with the biggest blues you'll ever see.
Wow!
Oh, man. How he only left that thing in the tyres rather than destroying the car. Unbelievable.
There's plenty of racing still to come here this afternoon as we head to Sydney Motorsport Park for the first round of the 2015 Swan Insurance Australasian Superbikes right after this break.